Okay, sounds like the Dallas Cowboys, according to some rumors, and I'll link an article in the description or the article so you can check it out for yourself. They are looking to move up to make a splash, and they are targeting on two Ohio State prospects that the Lions are honing in on, and that is Chase Young and that is Jeff Okudah. Okay, let's talk about it. We back, Mercy Sports Talk. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, bell icon button, share the video. Appreciate the love and support. For real, best way to keep showing love and support is share the video. You want to make a donation, information in the description, Cash App name and PayPal link there as well. But do me that favor and just hit the share button. But yeah, obviously they may not move up and get Chase Young. We may not get Chase Young. Issues going on there with Chase Young is that I heard Chicago may be trying to trade Khalil Mack for the number 2 pick to Washington. Miami could try to jump up to number 2 to get a quarterback. Like I said before, let the combine unwind and also let some of these pro days happen. And the draft board is going to completely shake up. Trust me on that one. You're going to see some dudes rise, fall. If Jeff Okudah go out there and run a 4.5, I'm not saying he would, or Chase Young, he don't go out there and impress in workouts, he will fall. And somebody run a fabulous 40, or somebody hit the bench and do something crazy, 60 reps or something like that. Somebody fail a drug test. Somebody come up with a heart ailment or a medical red shirt. It's a lot of things that can happen between now, the combine, and that's just a couple weeks, and then all the way into draft day, and I believe it is in April or in Vegas. But obviously, I think Jerry Jones knows he doesn't have enough capital as far as draft compensation unless he goes into next year to move all the way up to number 2 to get Chase Young. And also, would the Redskins do him a favor and trade with the Cowboys to get Chase Young? Absolutely not. They will have to trade every draft pick they got this year and the majority next year for that to happen. But then that opens up for us. You know what I'm saying? That where it depends on what the Cowboys are willing to give for Jeff Okudah to move down to 17. Now, if you see a situation where you get their first this year, a second, a fourth, and their first next year, then it may open the talks up for some things. Is there some players that the Lions may like on there? Well, I don't think the Cowboys, they're in a position to give up players because they're having a hard time signing Cooper. They might have to let Byron Jones go. So, not sure what other attractive piece that they really have to offer us. Maybe an O-lineman, they may have that they may be willing to part ways with. Leland Collins, maybe a guy like that, that can help the Lions on the right side. But like I said, it's hard to envision having an opportunity at Chase Young and giving it to the Cowboys. It's going to take a lot of draft capital. If everything lays out the way it's laying out, Jeff Okudah is more obtainable for them. And let me explain this scenario where, let's say the Chargers want to move up to 3 and they want Herbert. So we do a deal with the Chargers, I think they 6, and we do a deal with them to move up and move down. And the Cowboys say, well, Jeff Okudah's still on the board. Let's do some business here. We want to move to whatever it is, 5 or 6 to get Okudah with the Lions. The Lions, like it or not, is in full rebuild mode. All right? And if the Cowboys give us enough compensation to roll from 6 or 5, whatever the Chargers is, down to 17, for me, it would have to be a second, a fourth this year, and a first next year. And possibly a fourth or fifth next year, or something of that nature. And if you get that, and also you can get San Diego second and third this year, and whatever, and maybe they first next year instead of they second and third this year, now you talking. Now you building up capital to draft Trevor Lawrence next year. So people talking about the Lions possibly trading down once, they may have an opportunity to trade down 2 times. Because if some quarterbacks rise or if a flow of quarterbacks get to going in the scenario where Washington trade down and somebody trade up for Tua, which would probably be Miami, all right, somebody trade up for Herbert, you know what I'm saying? Somebody say, oh, we got to take Jordan Love now, or we got to take Easton or somebody else roll. A lot of stuff can get to rolling. And at 6, or whatever the Chargers sitting at 5 or 6, and the Dallas here, somebody want Okudah, and they want to jump up, and you can get 4 or 5, 6 picks in this year and next year, I would do it. I definitely would do it. To move down twice and all the capital you get now, think about the third and the fourth round picks. Those are critical for good offensive linemen as far as guards. But Bob Quinn makes his best picks in those rounds. You know what I'm saying? The fourth round, third, fourth round, he's money there. Deshaun Hand, Kenny Galladay, he's money there. So it's a scenario where the Lions can move down twice in the first round. And really, with all those picks, they can use capital to get Lawrence next year. They can fill out a roster. And that's kind of what you want to do. You want to fill out a roster with a lot of young players. And obviously, you got to identify the talent, and the talent has to fit your system. You can't just say, oh, I'm going to take a zone corner and put him in my man Detroit Lions scheme. That's not going to work. So you got to take that capital and you got to make it work. So this is music it should be music to Bob Quinn ears. You know what I'm saying? If you move down with San Diego, they want to take a quarterback, cool, bam. Move down, get some more picks. You would obviously get whatever it is, 5th or 6th pick. You probably get a 1 next year and maybe let's say a 4 this year, 3 this year. If you want to worry about next year, the Cowboys call, you get their 17 this year, you get their 2nd this year, maybe you get a 1st next year. So you start building some capital. That's how you build a team. Because now that and I'm not saying that these trade scenarios are accurate. I'm just giving a guesstimation. I know I'm going to have some angry Cowboy fans, some angry Lion fans, some angry Dolphin and Skins fans. I'm just saying in hypothetical. But that's how you build the football team. With all those young picks. Because the way the draft is now, it's not an open cap. It's all slotted like the NBA did. It's slotted now. So you building a team with a lot of young players, and with the franchise tag, you can have a lot of these guys for 5 or 6 years. And over the next 2 years, if you can get 4, 5, 6 additional picks, that's half a side of a football team. That's huge. Now, if Chase Young or Okudah go on to be Rod Woodson or Deion Sanders, or Chase Young go on to be Reggie White or a dominant Lawrence Taylor or something like that, or Khalil Mack, are you kicking yourself? Yeah. But out your 5 or 6 picks or whatever you get, if you get Trevor Lawrence, I don't think you mad. If you fill out a football team with a really lot of good players, I don't think you mad. If you go there and you find yourself a Cliff Averill, or you find yourself, a Kenny Galladay again, or somebody of that caliber, or you get enough picks to get Jonathan Taylor or J.K. Dobbs, or get really good offensive linemen, I really don't see what people would get mad at. But like I said before, it's a great scenario to trade. If you can trade down twice and fill out your football team, and a lot of people say from the outside looking in, that's not from Detroit, that probably watched this video, well, isn't Bob Quinn on the hot seat? We don't believe that here in Detroit. As long as he don't win 3 games again or less than 3 games next season, I don't believe he's on the hot seat. I think he will play out his contract the next 2 years because, one, the Lions use the NFL hiring service to find candidates because they don't know football. Martha Ford hasn't hired a senior advisor that knows football, like a Bill Parcells or Tony Dungy. Not saying they have to be the general manager, but to help her make the proper football decisions, she don't want to spend that money. Okay? And she don't really want to spend the money on the team. Every year they get $250 million for a TV check. So it don't matter who show up to the game or who don't show up to the game. That's why the Jaguars, maybe moving 2 games over to London. But I think they're gonna play out their contract, so they have time to build the team. Now, is Bob Quinn the best talent evaluator in the draft? No. Bill Belichick wasn't a great talent evaluator. It's not a lot of great drafters out there, but I do think I trust Bob Quinn more than the previous regimes. Martin Mayhew, Tom Luan, and Matt Millen. I do trust him more than them. But it's an interesting scenario where you might have an opportunity to trade down multiple times and really build draft capital and build your team in the next 2 or 3 seasons. You might have a young Seattle team. You might have a really young team. That's the way to go. Young, cheap, spry, and but you got to hit the picks up right. But I'll link that article in the description about Jerry Jones. Don't forget, we on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Reach out to the email if you have a business question, inquiry, sponsorship, and video request. All my social media is in the description. Just touch the title and all that kind of goes down and you can click it all. But hey, appreciate it. One time.